For number 2 on the 4.4 content check, I'm also asked to graph a polynomial. This time, though, my polynomial is in standard form. There are no parentheses, meaning it is not in factored form. So unlike in problem 1, I can't just automatically look for my x-intercepts. I have to get it in factored form in order to do that. So my first instinct, since there are 3 terms, would be to make my factor x. However, you can only make your factor x when this exponent is twice as big as the next one. And since that is not the case, I cannot make my factor x, and I have to go to my rational root theorem and use synthetic division. So when I set up synthetic division, I'm going to put my leading coefficients from the problem on top. 1x cubed plus 3x squared plus 0x minus 4. I have to remember to put the 0 in there for the placeholder. Then I'm going to list possible solutions of this thing. So I look at factors of my constant term and factors of my leading coefficient, which is just 1. Factors of the constant term, the last number, are 4, 1, and 2. Factors of the first number 1 are just 1, and they can be positive or negative, either of those options. So I can test any of the numbers on my list to see if they are solutions or x-intercepts. So I'm just going to start with the number 1. I drop down my first number 1 here, then I multiply and combine. 1 times 1 is 1, plus 3 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 0 is 4, and 1 times 4 is 4, minus 4 is 0. So lucky for me, the first time I got one of my x-intercepts as x equals 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot there. When I write x equals 1, that means it came from the factor x minus 1. Then these 3 terms get their own factor, 1x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now, with these 3 remaining terms, I can use my factor x, since this exponent is double this exponent. So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to 4x squared and add to 4x. Those 2 numbers are 2x and 2x. So when I write this in fully factored form, I still have my x minus 1 times x plus 2 times another x plus 2. Notice, since we have x plus 2 written twice, or x plus 2 times itself, that's the same as writing x plus 2 squared. So now this very clearly shows us our x-intercepts. We have x equals 1, which is a cross, since my exponent is just 1, and x equals negative 2, which is a bounce, given my 2 as an exponent. Okay, then from here, again, we need to look at our arrows. We could, if we wanted to, look at the factored form, add our exponents, which is 3, and notice that it's positive in front. So odd and positive means it ends going up, starts going down. Or you can look at your original problem and just look at this first term. 1 and 3 means positive and odd, same arrows. Lastly, we're going to plug in 0 for x to find our y-intercept. So if we wanted to do that from factored form, we could write 0 minus 1 times 0 plus 2 squared. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. 0 plus 2 squared is 4, giving me negative 4. If we plugged it into the original, we would have 0 cubed plus 3 times 0 squared minus 4, which 0 cubed is just 0, plus 3 times 0 squared is just 0, minus 4 still gives me the negative 4. Okay, so I have all my directions on my paper, and now I just need to follow them. I'm going to start at this leftmost arrow, go up to my negative 2 and bounce off of it, get the y-intercept at negative 4, and finally cross through the last x-intercept.